What's going on, Buffs Nation? You know what's crazy? ESPN's Paul Finebaum. Yeah, the guy y'all don't like. I know y'all don't like me talking about it, but guess what? It's hilarious to see the backtracking, and it's always great to pull those receipts on people who be hating on you. Paul Finebaum was a notorious hater of Coach Prime and what he's doing here at Colorado. And I'm going to tell y'all this. He had egg on his face, and the best part is he admitted it. We're going to talk about him admitting that, as well as why Colorado was able to put UCF in a blender and surprise everybody. We're going to dive into that here on the Primetime of College Football. So, first and foremost, thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. We're going to talk about them in a bit. But man, I did a video earlier before the season started, right? And Paul Finebaum was him and Heather Dinich decided to really throw some bombs at Coach Prime in Colorado. And really, I mean, they went a little ham. I'm going to play that for y'all first. Let y'all hear what they said before the season started. And now we're going to talk about how they had to turn, how especially Finebaum turned his head around. We'll see what Heather says soon. We're going to see what Finebaum had to say first.
Let me piggyback on that for a second. Anyone asking whether Deion Sanders and Colorado are close to the playoffs simply doesn't understand the reality of the road. They're not going to the playoffs this year, and I'm not sure Deion Sanders is ever going to get them to the playoffs because I don't think he has the patience to stay at Colorado long enough. There's so many misconceptions out there. Deion Sanders is the best salesman I've ever seen. I personally love the guy and for what he stands for, but the program looking out has a ridiculously inflated view of itself. I heard Shedeur Sanders, who's a fabulous quarterback, say last week, "We are everyone's Super Bowl." Shedeur, you are not. You are an easy win nowadays. You got off to a phenomenal start last year, beating a couple of mediocre teams that had big names. And quite frankly, you haven't done anything since other than crash and burn. So I know that the media loves this story. We fall all over ourselves. But Colorado isn't important in college football. Deion Sanders is. He's a standalone person. He's one of the most charismatic people we've ever seen. But Colorado is nothing. They don't matter. They're irrelevant in the big picture of college football.
So, of course, he's trying to deny the fact that Colorado is everybody's Super Bowl, that Colorado is one of those teams that everybody's watching. But I think the funny thing is that not only is Sheduer and Travis Hunter basically primetime, they're the people that everybody wants to watch, but that defense has made them look so great this season. That's a shout out to Robert Livingston, and that's who I want to talk about the most here. We're going to talk about that in depth as to how and what they did to UCF in that game that really impressed your boy. But I want to talk to y'all about what Finebaum had to say now, and I'm going to tell y'all how we got to the point where Finebaum had to change his mind because of what Colorado did on the road as a 14-point dog. But first, let's get a word from the sponsor real quick. Man, I recently found out I was being charged for a gym membership twice. And I have no clue how I was being charged twice for it. And the worst part, I was being charged for a full year when I went back and looked through my statements. How did I not catch that? Well, I got teenagers and I'm always paying for stuff. And it was just one of those things I just overlooked. Now I'm preparing to pay for their college. I need to get my finances together. So the sponsor of today's video is Rocket Money. They're here to help. Rocket Money is an app you need to help save more and manage your money better. Do a fantastic job of that. I love using Rocket Money to cancel some subscriptions that I don't need or want, or ones I may have forgotten about, right? My kids may get something for class to do a project and I just forget that the application's there. And they do a really good job of safely and securely identifying all those recurring charges and cancel those unwanted subscriptions for you. You can even cancel them within the app. It just takes a couple of taps. No need to worry about calling customer service, in which one day I spent about 4 hours on hold because they were trying to figure out where this second subscription was coming from at the gym. Rocket Money has helped save its customers up to $740 a year when you use all of the app's features, with over 500 million saved in canceled subscriptions. That is massive. So make sure you check them out. Link in the description below. Take control of your finances today. Go to rocketmoney.com/primetimecfb. Again, rocketmoney.com/primetimecfb. They'll get you taken care of today. So Finebaum went on First Take and said he had egg on his face. I'm going to let y'all hear it from his own words, as well as how he talked about the most exciting game of the weekend, because it's funny. When I put another video out about a week ago, I said that he called them the most exciting team out there. But there was some like backhand compliments that came in there. But I think that this defense deserves a lot more praise for what they did against UCF. Like a lot more praise that we're not getting yet. It's okay. The Buffs are going to get that. I think Rob Livingston's going to get his recognition. But listen to Finebaum real quick. Let's break down that defense.
Hi, Paul. Just go ahead, Paul.
Well, first of all, Stephen A., you're close to being right. And this is where I say to you, I should have kept my mouth shut a couple weeks ago. But I came after you. I came after Prime. And here I am scraping the egg off of my face. And I'm glad to be doing it because this is a fascinating story. And what happened last week down in Florida was really the first time, I think, since Prime has been at Colorado that this looked like a legitimate football team. They didn't beat a great team, but they beat a good team, coached by Gus Malzahn, who's played for the national championship. So if they can continue on this path, now, I'm not issuing qualifiers. I'm just saying if. Then Stephen A., I think your story about Coach of the Year is dead on.
Crazy, right? To hear him go ahead and just, admit that, Colorado's a really good team. Now, this is what I want to talk about statistically, right? I went through and was looking at this, and I think this is the thing that impressed me the most, right? So Colorado in this game, now this may not be as impressive to y'all. UCF has 461 yards in this game, right? I know, I get it. UCF going into this game was averaging over 560 yards a game. Tops in conference, tops like up there in the tops in, especially in running in college football. Like they're number 2 in college football right now after this week with only playing 4 games. There's some teams that play 5 and they ain't got the numbers they have. They've got over 1,300 yards rushing. Like they're right behind Army for the most yards, and they've both only played 4 games. Of course, Army's notorious for running the ball, triple option. But this is the crazy part about that game and what UCF did. What Colorado did to UCF. UCF averaged 326 rushing yards per game this season. RJ Harvey, listen to the numbers he had. 142 yards in the first game. 126 yards second game. Against TCU on the road, 180 yards. Averaging a minimum of 6 yards per carry. Dude was eating. Went up against Colorado, 16 carries, 77 yards, 4.8 yards per carry. Even better, he fumbled the ball. First time this entire season. So Colorado was in that man's neck, a position where he always got 100 yards. Like RJ Harvey was one of those players that made UCF a dark horse, especially with an experienced quarterback like KJ Jefferson. He made UCF a dark horse. And I'll be honest, I told y'all in my preview, this is the only game that really concerned your boy. A little worried me because I wasn't sure that the Colorado defense will be ready for UCF this early in the season. Well, they even shut your boy up because they were the most exciting team in the weekend. Finebaum said it earlier. You heard him talk about it. Had to play both the clips where you can hear it. Like, it's bananas to me that, and he called y'all sickos. Are y'all sickos? I'm a sicko. I thoroughly enjoy watching Colorado with all the other college football games going on. They're one of my favorites to watch. I enjoy what Prime is putting together. I enjoy watching Sheduer Sanders and Travis Hunter. We've talked about him on the reaction, but the biggest thing here is that defense that Livingston is putting together, it's actually pretty darn good, right? And so I went in and, had to go look how this defense is stacking up. I mean, it's giving up about 379 yards a game, which is under what a lot of these teams' averages are, which you cannot be mad at, right? And then the second half is when this team turns up. Now, granted, I've told y'all before on here, I need this defense to show up a little bit earlier, but to be honest, this defense showed up the entire game. UCF's a team that's going to find a way to score. They're going to kill some clock, and they're going to do a really good job of running the ball. They're pretty disciplined. Gus Malzahn is really good, and Prime praised Gus, like he always does. He praised him because, if I'm correct, Gus actually recruited Sheduer. He was trying to recruit Sheduer to his team before Prime went to, Jackson State and everything that went down. Gave him an offer and everything. So, hey, Gus knows the talent there. And everything that we see here is that very much impressive. Colorado went out there, bullied them, pushed them boys around, and did not let them play the game they wanted to. 177 rushing yards in this game. That's not the number that you typically get out of UCF. They had to literally, they made KJ Jefferson do all the work, which if you want to beat UCF, you put it on KJ's back because KJ, this is the most passing yards he's had this season. And he completed only 57% of his passes. They were in his neck. 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. He had 2 picks as well. So he forced 3 turnovers from the 2 top players on this team. Hey, who's got questions about the defense? Talk to me. Let me know what y'all think. Hop in the comments. Rob Livingston doing a good job? Are y'all sold on what he can do for the rest of the season? Because when I went through the schedule, hey man, I may be eating crow about some of the games I thought may have ended up being losses, right? Because ain't none of those teams looking like they're in a position to make that happen. Let me know what your thoughts are. All right. Thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. Check them out in the link in the description below. And we'll have some more content coming out. We're going to break down some of the other positions. We're going to break down this as this bye week is here. Just kind of what the outlook is for the Buffs so far. And we'll talk soon.